Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today I decided to do a speed build for a brand new nightclub in San Myshuno. So let's jump in. This past weekend I was lucky enough to see John Summit in New York City at Madison Square Garden, and New York City is the city of my dreams. I'm obsessed with it there. So this was the best weekend I've had in a very long time. It was amazing. The show was incredible. I'm a huge house music person, so this was a huge show for me. You know, this was the first time John Summit's ever played a show like this in an arena. The stage production was incredible. The set list was incredible. I was so impressed, and I honestly wish I was in New York for the entire length of his bender that he had going on there. For those of you that aren't familiar, John Summit is literally one of my absolute favorite DJs. He just like really gets it. I love his music because it has, you know, the lyrics that, you know, you can really relate to while also having like a super fun beat that you can just dance to and have a good time. So it was very fun to get to see him again. I actually saw him last summer at the Brooklyn Mirage in New York as well. So 2 for 2 right now. I'm loving it. I'm loving the vibes. So hopefully there's more John Summit shows in my future. But yeah, it was so much fun and I love the nightlife in New York City. So I decided, let's build a nightclub in The Sims. One of my favorite things about The Sims is, you know, bringing like the realistic aspect of my life into the game. So this was super fun for me to kind of like my nightclub fantasy. I've always had this dream of like owning my own nightclub. I think it would be so much fun, and I know that I would like pack the perfect vibes in there. I would have the vibes for literally everyone. I'd be there for the girls, the gays, the theys, and maybe some straight men if they want to. You know, like the ally ones, they're cool. They're allowed to come in, but that's about it. I would just want like a super safe space that plays really good music, has great drinks, and really cool, like picturesque sort of vibes. So that's what I decided to make here today. I really went all out with this one. I took my very sweet time with this because, so something about me is that I am a club rat. I love the clubs. I love going out dancing. I love music. I love house music, and I love techno. Like I love all the genres that dance music has. So it's really fun for me to just go out to like a different club and get a different vibe every night or every weekend. I don't go out every night. That's not something that I do, but that's just like my favorite part about going out is just like getting different vibes every night and just like seeing like what's out there and trying new things. So something that I really wanted to bring into The Sims was that vibe. So I went with a couple different rooms. So there's 3 stages in the nightclub itself, and each stage in my mind would be playing a different genre of dance. So, you know, you'll have the house music stage, you'll have the techno stage, you'll have the dubstep, and they'll kind of be on like a rotating basis. So like some nights they'll have different genres, you know? So it was really fun to play around with this and play around with the lighting a lot. That was one of my favorite parts as well. That's something I love about clubs and you know, getting cool pictures at shows is the lights. So that for me was like a huge part of this build, was making sure that I got the lighting correct and we were locked and loaded and ready to go. So you'll see here, I'm starting to kind of get like a feel for like the actual shell of the building. And I put in the stage in the main dance floor area. So this part that we're in right now is the main dance floor portion of the building, and it has the largest bar, and it's all out there. It's ready to go. And I really went hard with the decor in this build. I went with a lot of blacks, and I incorporated a bunch of like purple, magenta, blue sort of color schemes with the lighting and the decor in the build. For me, that would just be like the ideal color scheme for me. Maybe throw in a little bit of pink as well. I was very happy that the Party Essentials kit actually came with this like invisible dance floor. I really don't like the dance floors in this game. I think they're very ugly. And they're just not something that like I particularly would use in a nightclub of this aesthetic. So it was very cool that I was able to just like put them in and they're there, and they added like the fog effect on this dance floor. So that was also really cool that I was able to like incorporate that into this as well. But yeah, so I threw in a couple of these like really funky windows up in the front. I really just wanted it to feel very like modern and luxe, like very rich. So in San Myshuno, this is on a rooftop. So I wanted this nightclub to feel like it is the richest nightclub you've ever been to. And bottle service is so expensive, which like in real life, I would absolutely hate that. But in The Sims, that's not like a thing. So that's just like kind of like the vibes that I was going for. But I really love the way that it turned out. We have a little outdoor stage moment, which is so cool. I love an outdoor moment. And especially when you're on a rooftop, I think, you know, rooftops need to utilize that a little bit more and kind of bring that into real life. Like, I love a good rooftop bar. That is like my favorite thing ever. So incorporating that and having a whole stage out here was so cool and so fun to do. So this weekend after John's Summit, we ended up going to a rooftop bar that kind of overlooked the Empire State Building. It was so cool and great drinks, and we just had such a good time. So this build felt very fitting for the era of my life that I'm in, I guess. I've always kind of been, you know, this sort of club girly. But now I'm like really embracing it and kind of living out that like Y2K Paris Hilton, Lindsay Lohan fantasy where they used to go partying, you know? That's just like the vibe that I feel like I bring to the function is that. So for me, building this was so much fun, and I'm just like really excited to bring my Sims here and actually like have somewhere fun to go. You know, I feel like in The Sims, like, I don't love the nightclub that's in Windenburg. Like, it's cute and it's great for what it is. But again, it's an EA build and they're just not the greatest. So I'm glad that I finally have, you know, one that is my aesthetic and something that I will enjoy bringing my Sims to, because I made sure that I hit every key component that I felt was needed in a nightclub. I put in like the bubble machines, there's tables everywhere, there's a bunch of dance floors, a bunch of bars. So there's definitely something for your Sims to do here all the time. Like, you're never going to be bored at this place. So I will be playtesting it in my next video with my series Messing with My Sims Life. I will definitely be bringing my Sims here to kind of test out the waters a little bit, but I definitely love the aesthetics of it. So I'm glad that I was able to capture that, and hopefully the gameplay is fun as well. I am more of like a builder. In the grand scheme of it all, I much prefer building and just putting my all into these builds and really diving deep into like the story of the build and what is it for? Why am I building it? What does it reflect from my life? I think it's such a cool way to really get that creative outlet out. And don't get me wrong, I love playing and I love the actual gameplay itself of The Sims 4. But for me, this just feels like such a release, and it's such a fun way for me to play. Like, I really love building, and it's just one of my favorite parts about the game. I originally was going to go to school for architecture, and I wanted to do that because I played The Sims growing up. Like, I was always playing when I was a kid, and so I was like, I want to be an architect when I grow up. And then I actually like learned about the school. I did a couple drafting and design classes in high school, and I was like, I don't love this. So we decided to go a totally different route, and I ended up going with entertainment marketing and minoring in the music industry and going into social media, and now I'm a social media manager. So total 180 from what I wanted to do originally, but I feel like I still kind of get that outlet out with The Sims, you know, building and really putting together these pieces that feel like kind of like a larger puzzle. And I also love the design aspect as well, like really putting into perspective, like, okay, this makes sense here, and this color scheme works best with this, and I love this item, but maybe not paired with that. And to me, that's just like the most fun I have when I play The Sims is really diving into that realm and bringing something to life that didn't exist before I started this. Like, this was a completely empty lot, and now it has all of this in front of it. So it's just really crazy to me that like you can start from nothing and work your way up. And I just like, that is my goal for the rest of the year, is to just continue to get better at building and really just like play into the fun aspect of it and try new things. That is something that I'm always trying to do. I typically build the same type of house, so that is something that I really want to work on. And I really never build community lots, so that is something that I've been challenging myself with as well. And this just felt really fitting for the vibes from this weekend. And I just felt like this build really reflected where I'm at in life right now, which is a 25-year-old who is just trying to go dance. That's it. We're kind of working on the side a little bit on the outdoor aspect of the build. I loved adding in these bubble machines. I think they're so fun, and it really just adds another thing for your Sims to do here. I wanted to make sure that there was multiple activities. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, let's go dance, let's get some drinks, and that's it. I really wanted the Sims to feel like, okay, like, there's a couple things to do here that's not just like dancing. And I really think I captured that. So that, to me, I'm glad I got those vibes in this build. But yeah, I put in a bunch of tables as well. I felt like, you know, at nightclubs, one of my favorite things is to sit. So instead of doing kind of like bottle service sort of like booths and stuff, there's a couple downstairs, but for the most part, there's just like tables everywhere. And outdoors, I put in these really cool fire pit tables that came with City Living. I love these fire pit tables. I think they're so cool. And they're not actual fire, so they won't catch the place on fire, which is a huge issue in this game. So I'm very happy that, you know, we have an item like this that won't do that. And this wall piece, I'm pretty sure it's from Dine Out. Love. But you'll see here now, I decided to leave this part in. I wanted to have the DJ booth upstairs be indoor-outdoor, but it really messed with the lighting and I absolutely hated it. So I ended up going with like a circular sort of vibe and put the stage in a circle and just built windows around it, because I was like, there's no way I can have the entire nightclub be fully outside and have this sort of lighting. I hate the lighting that happens when you make it outdoors. It just makes everything have this like weird blue hue and it's just not cute. So the idea was nixed, and I just think in real life that would have been so cool if it was like an indoor-outdoor stage that rotated. Oh my god, that would be insane, and I would be at that stage every day. I would love it. It kind of gives me like space vibes from Miami. This is me running through all the clubs I've ever been to in my life, and there's been many, but I kind of incorporated like all of my favorite aspects of each of them into this place. I really just wanted it to be a cool place where your Sims can go get good pictures, because that's my favorite part about clubbing as well, is getting like the really cool pictures and feeling good in my outfit. And that's what I wanted for my Sims. I really just wanted them to have a cool spot to go to that is more than just what's in Windenburg, because that's basically the only other cool big nightclub in the game. So one of the most challenging aspects of this build for me was that it was a modern build. So I am typically not a modern builder. I do sort of like the modern aesthetic. It's not my favorite by any means at all. I'm more of like the maximalist, colorful, very whimsical sort of vibe, and a lot of like mid-century modern pieces. I love a good mid-century modern home. So this was definitely a hard one for me, was getting like the super ultra modern vibes, very sleek. But I think I was able to capture it in a way that I like as well, and still kind of incorporated a bunch of like the little quirky things that I like those windows. Like, they're super weird, but I love them. And all the color from all the lights, that was something that I'm glad that I was able to incorporate. And this Party Essentials kit is all over the place. I used so much of it, and I'm so thankful that we finally have a disco ball in the game. I love disco balls. You guys can't see it because they're like behind this camera, but I have 3 disco balls hanging from my ceiling because I love the vibes of a disco ball. I am the girl at the club that is posting a video of the disco ball every chance they get. I love it. I can't get enough of it. I don't know what it is. I'm just obsessed, and I will forever be that person. I can't help it. I'm sorry. It is who I am, and it's a part of my DNA. Now that like the base of the build is there, I really was trying to capture, you know, I was really trying to get some cool decor pieces. So in the one corner you can see that there's like this really cool art piece sculpture. I really just wanted to like reflect the cool vibe in the club. So I really tried to add in a bunch of different cool decor pieces. One of my favorite parts of this build is the amount of greenery that's in it. So I placed so many wall plants in this build because I wanted it to feel lush and very luxurious. So for me, that meant huge greenery that is just like flowing off the walls. So Jungle Adventure came in clutch here. I love this wall plant. The one that's like fern-like. I don't know how else to explain it. I'm not a plant person, so I don't really know. But I absolutely love that plant in this game. I think it's so pretty, and it just really, I feel like it elevated the build to a new level when I started adding it around, and it gave it that sort of pop of color against the black and white. It's very stark. So I felt like it needed that sort of pop of color beside like the neon lights. Like it needed like a more natural feel, you know? For me, I loved adding that, and I felt like it just gave like a new breath into the build itself. So I think the hardest part for me in this build was playing around with the lighting. I used those lights from Desert Luxe Kit that like shine up onto the wall because I wanted it to feel like it was coming down and up. So the lights were like meeting each other. So like the blue coming from the top, the lights shining from the bottom. Like I really just wanted it to feel like it was like a statement piece on the sign. So that was definitely a very hard thing to capture and playing around with all of that. But that to me was the most fun part, honestly, because I don't normally play around with lighting like that in my builds. I'm normally just like throw in these lights everywhere, make it super bright and call it a day. So to actually like it has a purpose in this build, that was like really cool for me and something that I am excited to play around with a bit more in the future. So I will definitely be doing that in future builds and like really just trying to like change the lighting and change the vibes of the place, you know, in future community lot builds, because that to me kind of makes or breaks it a little bit. So I built this after the Cozy Bistro, and I kind of wish I went in and dimmed it all and made it super like low light, because I feel like that to me reads like Cozy Bistro vibes. So I'm very excited to like start incorporating that into my builds and moving forward, just like making it more purposeful. But yeah, so now the build is like really coming together and I'm obsessed with how the vibes are coming out. And so back here is sort of like the bubble station that I was thinking. So I tried to make it look like bubbles were on the wall, and then I used the actual bubble wall decor. And this is where, you know, you and your friends can sit down, smoke the bubbles, and just like hang out and chit chat and talk. That is one of my favorite things to do with my friends, is chit chat and gossip and the whole nine yards. So I was very happy to incorporate that and bring that into this nightclub. And I also incorporated a karaoke machine, which I didn't realize as I was building it that I put it outside, and it will definitely be breaking because it is outside, and when it rains, it breaks. So that was something that I probably should have thought about, but it slipped my mind. I actually think out of all of the dance floors, I love the outdoor one because I love a good outdoor moment, but I really think my favorite is this upstairs dance floor. I love the way that it turned out, and using the Moschino stuff wallpaper inside, I feel like it just added this like cool edgy vibe, and the wall of bubbles, it looks so cool, and I just love the way it turned out. And the dance floor that looks down to downstairs, I really think that this club would be the most poppin' club if it were to exist in real life. So I'm very happy that my Sims get, you know, something exclusive for themselves. Now I'm working on putting a line of cameras. So for me, it's super unrealistic. But in my head, I was like, okay, like, this is a thing. I feel like when you go to clubs, they always have like photographer, promoter sort of vibe. So that was sort of the thing that I was putting there. And like your Sims can get pictures with the city in the background. I just thought that was something that was necessary because I love having photos of my Sims in my builds. So, you know, incorporating that in any sort of way. And I don't always want to use the selfies. So to have like an actual place for your Sims to take the photos, perfection. And I also added in the photo booths because that was obviously necessary. Like you need a photo booth. I love photo booth pictures. They are my favorite. If I see a photo booth somewhere, I'm in there with all my friends and we are getting pictures. I don't care what anyone says. No ifs, ands, or buts. As I was building this, I realized I only had like a tiny like 2x3 size room, 2 of them for a bathroom. So I decided, let's put all the bathrooms outside. So I would say that there's about like 7 bathrooms in this build, I think. And I felt like that was plenty. But, you know, you never know with the Sims. Like, it could be packed here and they could all need the bathroom at once. So I wanted to make sure that there was plenty. And if your Sim, like, was ever in a pinch and needed it, it's right there for them and they're fine. I also decided to build kind of like a front desk sort of vibe in here. You know, like when you go in and they're like scanning you or like stamping you, giving you your wristband. I kind of wanted just like a cool statement wall behind it. And I put in like the little register and I used this mirror from, I think it's like an unlockable from Get Famous or something like that. I love this star mirror. It's like one of my favorite things in the game. If I had it in real life, oh my God, I would be unstoppable. But anyway, I decided to put that in here and kind of make it like a statement wall behind the front desk where, you know, you give your money for the cover, whatever. And I just thought it looked so cool. And I just really wanted there to be a lot of light, a lot of blacks and whites, a lot of greenery, and really just feel like this super sleek, high-end club that is like super exclusive. And only like the coolest Sims get in here, okay? I don't care. And I definitely feel like I achieved that. And, you know, being a club rat myself, I feel like I knew the vibes to a T. I'm very excited with how it turned out. This was definitely out of my comfort zone for me in terms of building. I normally never build stuff like this on this scale, especially. Like, I'm more of like a smaller community lot builder. So to tackle something this big was very scary for me. And so I was very nervous with how it would have turned out. And I'm glad that it turned out this way because I just think it looks so cool. And I really just can't wait to play in it and use it and just make it like the typical place where my Sims go. And, you know, when I start playing with new generations, this is where they go to meet their new, you know, significant others or whatever. Another exciting thing is the new Love Struck pack is coming out. And there's a nightclub there in Ciudad Enamorada. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm very excited about that pack because obviously like most of my gameplay is love-based and it's about like my Sims finding the one. So I'm really excited to see how this enhances that gameplay and really like the changes that it brings to the love system in the game and sort of like the love skill that it has and the love career. There's so many new things and I'm so excited. It makes me really excited that the Sims team is still pushing out content. I know that that's sort of a hot take, but I truly love The Sims 4. I grew up on The Sims 3. I played The Sims 2 like a little bit when I was younger, but I mostly was a Sims 3 player. You know, there's always a special place in my heart for that game, but there's something about The Sims 4 that I just love. I love the effects. I love the graphic style. I love that it looks good, you know, like they actually cared about how it looked. Whereas I feel like The Sims 3 is so ugly. I'm sorry, it's so ugly. I loved the gameplay, but it's so ugly. And with The Sims 4, you know, it's definitely lacking that gameplay element, but I love the way it looks. And since I'm such a builder, it's perfect. But I am very excited that they're still excited about the game and they're still adding things because it just shows that like there's still longevity here and it's just going to be a game that we play for years to come. So I'm really excited about this new pack and I can't wait to play with it and just see what it's all about. And the fact that we're getting a new city world, come on, like that is what we need. That's what we've been asking for. We just want apartments. And in the trailer, we obviously saw the penthouse, so we know we're getting that, but I'm really praying that we get more smaller apartments because I'm sorry, I can't keep living in San Myshuno. That's like the only place where my Sims live. I'm not obsessed with the apartments in Evergreen Harbor. So, you know, another city world, let's do it. Let's do it right. And I'm very excited and I just can't wait to see what it's all about. And seeing all the new items already, God, it just makes me so excited. I literally can't wait. But going back to the build a little bit more, we kind of jumped a little bit and you can see that everything is lit up. So I really went in there and I was just playing around with every single light and making sure that, you know, I kind of just wanted that like blue magenta vibe. And I definitely captured that. And the lights look so sick. I would die to be here. I put on my sunglasses. Let's go. Let's listen to some good house music. Oh my God, I would thrive. I would literally thrive here. All the lights, I just think it looks so cool in here. And I'm very excited for gameplay here and seeing what it's all about and really just bringing the nightclub vibes to The Sims. So now that we've seen the speed build, I'm gonna take you on a little tour. All right, so let's do a little tour. So when you first come up, you see that we have, you know, the entryway. So actually you can set the fame requirement. I thought that was just like really fun, but there's obviously other ways to get in if you don't wanna do that. But I just felt like that was a fun little added touch. And over here, it's kind of hard to see because it's so dark out, but here we have, you know, the little tripods. And so your Sims can take photos with the city in the background. I just thought that was really cool. And obviously a cool way to like add fun pictures into your Sims gameplay. So out here we have the outdoor stage, which is where a lot of Sims are at right now. And you have the DJ booth up here with a little entry for them on the sides. So this is the outdoor stage, and then we have the outdoor bars, which are covered. And I love these little lights from the Party Essentials kit. Over here is the like bottle service type tables outside with the toast bucket from Wedding Stories. More tables. And then you come around this corner to the little like bubble alley sort of vibe, and they can hit their little bubble pens. And then we have the bathrooms along the back wall, and then you kind of come back inside, and in here is the main DJ booth and the main dance floor with the giant bar. And then you have some bottle service over here and a little bit over here as well. And then there is the photo booths down here. You have a couple people waiting in line for the bathroom, apparently. And over here is like the main entryway. And then this is where you would be like paying, you know, the door for your cover, whatever. And then you can go all the way upstairs. And this is the main dance floor upstairs. And I really love the way that this room turned out. This is one of my absolute favorites. Like the bubbles going up the wall. I think it looks so sick. And I would definitely dance my ass off here. That's for sure. And I put in these like really cool like custom pieces from Eco Lifestyle. I just felt like it really fit the modern vibe. And you have some more wall decor over here. And then you come out back and you have another bar along this wall with like a cool waterfall behind it. Everything's breaking because it's raining, which is really fun. And then you have a couple more tables up here, the karaoke machine, these little fire pit tables along here. And that is the entire build. I hope that you guys like this build, and if you did, make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button down below, and you can actually download this nightclub right now on my gallery using the EA ID Robbie Plays Sims. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.